Alright folks, today I'm just going to swap out a few hoses. Took that one out. Let me know if anybody wants to buy that one. So here I am. There's some aftermarket heater hoses here, but they work very well. Now, the hoses that I got from Allisport, this one's going to replace this one. That goes in there and connects to there. I'm going to get the proper little three-way thing that's normally on the 300 TDI right there. And then these two other hoses match these, and then one goes up here and then the other one goes down to here. So I took off the upper boost hose and the bottom one. So the upper one will be this one, and I got some pretty cool nice 316 stainless banded clamps for it. Then what comes out of that part of the turbo will be this elbow goes into that pipe, which I cleaned out, but then that pipe is straight where it comes over here, and it takes this this one takes this bent hose here to go in there like that at the bottom. Let's see if I can show you. So it'll go in there like that. There we go. And then it'll connect to a straight pipe that comes through here, right underneath this little bend here, and connects to the elbow that's going to go right in there. Now, it also came with this little straight piece here, which was, I guess, was supposed to go down there, but it won't. You know, this won't match. This won't connect with that lower intercooler. Maybe that's a different intercooler. Not sure. I'll be getting the full-size intercooler from Allisport in about 3 weeks, and that'll match with the XL radiator fan, the XL radiator with the electric fans. So once I get the electric fans, I'll have a place to install that, and then that'll be nice because I'll be able to have just one smooth hose right there. Now, please excuse the blue color, the race boy color. I like it. I just like something to stand out in the engine bay, even though nobody ever looks at it except me. So other than that, I love that the previous owner set the engine back a little further because it gives me a lot of space here to work. When I had to swap out the power steering pump, it was very easy. It was, you know, not easy, but it's straightforward, you know. He also put this little plate here, keep this hose from getting too close to this, but then at the same time this hose is on top of this, and I was originally thinking of cutting this one a little shorter so that this bend drops down a little bit, and instead of, you know, here, it would be a little lower, giving more room for this hose to be over the top and giving it a lot more clearance from this spinning pulley right there. I have seen an actual Land Rover bracket, and I'm not sure if it goes there or if it goes here, but it does keep this hose from touching even when it's underneath this little bent hose right here. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, that's what it looks like right now. I'm gonna work on it a little bit. Hard to hold the phone and do this at the moment, but oh, one other thing that I had a question about was these two hoses here. Now, they are similar in that they both have, here, let me bring them over here. They both have similar bends, and then they bend here, and then this one goes this way and this one comes around. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put the clamp down on that side of the hose, and on the other side put the long pipe in there, and put this 90-degree bend in there, and put the solid piece in there. See you in a second. All right, that one's on. All right, let's go for the bottom one. Well, I didn't have a replacement hose for the bottom of the oil cyclone, so I put in the Allisport one that I got, And I cleaned out this hose with some degreaser. On the inside it was quite filled with oil and grease, and put it back on there, tightened it down a lot tighter than it was quite loose. So that should be a nice upgrade there. And now what's happening over here, I put in the top hose, no problem. I put in this piece, put in the bottom one. Now this hose, where is it? Where'd I put it? There you go. So this hose was pretty cool in that it had a just a black rubber around it. So I'm gonna take it to my buddy over at Florida Performance Exhaust and have him cut this down, have him cut it to there, and then flare it. So I can leave this much more hose on the elbow that I have. Let me show you what I mean. Right here, the original one was a lot smaller. See what I mean? So by cutting the pipe down, I can leave the original length of this instead of cutting this down, and then it'll go straight through down there. All right. I'm driving up to Broward anyway, or I'm in Broward. So we'll do that, and then we'll be able to finish this piece here. I'll be able to go connect right there, and then I'll go ahead and put in this large pipe right here and connect this piece with one of the original ones, because if you see here, this is the one that was on there. This was the steel pipe covered in rubber that was on the lower side, and it had this same flare, but it was actually not there. It was right here. I took it to a muffler shop. They told me that they couldn't flare it that small. They didn't have a really small bead roller. So they sent me to looking for a turbo shop. So I found a turbo shop, and they were like, sure, bring it over. So they cut this much off. Then they gave it a little bead roll, and then I brought it home and I filed off the edge nice and smooth. I had cut this back. I cut, let me show you how much I cut. I cut these two pieces off. And yeah, so now I'm going to attempt to install this down there, and it should line up nicely with this. These things give so much that even my deep socket ran out of space, so I had to bring out the trusty 10mm. So there's the elbow. The cutout was perfect, and there's the original elbow. Now I looked at this hose, and this hose is a silicone hose. It's just a black silicone hose, so I'm pretty happy about that. It doesn't match all the other blue ones, but that's all right. It's the right hose. And I have no idea what the full-size intercooler that's going to go in here, how the hose is. It might just be a straight hose out on this corner, and then that small piece of the blue silicone hose that came from Allisport would work. Other than that, these are good. So now next up is the intake, and I'm going to use the same hose that went in here. I sent an email over to Allisport showing them my original hose that went here, turned 90 degrees down, then another 90 degrees that way, and then like 90 degrees to the right to get to the intake hose barb that's there on the new intake hose. But I haven't gotten a response back. I probably won't get a response till tomorrow when it's already put together. Maybe I will wait till the morning. That way I'll save myself a headache if I am supposed to grab one of those blue hoses and just kind of twist it and turn it and make it work. But other than that, nice and smooth. It replaced the old ones that were there. And one thing that I did get, I got a bracket for this power steering, because I've always thought that this is a little too far this way and it's interfering a little bit with this lower radiator hose. So I'm thinking, well, so I saw one online that looked like the bracketry here brought this a little closer to the right. I made sure that it would clear when the hood was closed, and it does. And I was originally going to take it to a welder and have him cut right here and here and bring it all the way over to the right. But I saw that there was one for sale and it was already stainless, and I figured out, why not? I'll buy it. I'll show it to you now. Here it is. See how the space between here and here is a lot closer than this one. I'd say I'd save from where this band is around the actual reservoir to here is a little over an inch, and here is a little over a quarter inch. So I might be saving about an inch once this thing is in, because this thing goes underneath and it's going to be a lot closer. So it will essentially do what I wanted it to do. It'll move this a little bit more to the right, give me a little bit more space here, a little bit more space, no chafing, no rubbing between these hoses and that lower radiator hose. Both extremely important, both the power steering and the radiator hose, for the car's well-being. So that's where we're at. So I'll leave you with this for today. I'll continue the video. I'll make it one video after putting everything back together here and putting the silicone blue one-piece intake in the back. All right, folks, just a little bit of an update. I put the filter box back in. Now, I wasn't able to use those two hoses that came with the kit because those were the heater hoses. I originally thought they were one of the hoses that went over here into this clamp, sorry, into this the air oil cyclone, but they were for my heater box. My heater is the older style that has the two barbs that come out of it pointing down, so I'm not going to be able to use those there. But I am getting the MOD HVAC system, and those have two outputs that come out straight this way. So at that point I will be able to use those two hoses that came with the kit. So there's going to be a lot of removal of a bunch of stuff here in the coming weeks when I get that system from Ministry of Defender. I did receive the Allisport coolant reservoir, which you'll be able to see in another video, the unboxing video of that. And that I'm going to put it here, but first I'm going to go to my friend's shop at Surfside 4x4 so I can take a look at another 300 TDI original truck and see exactly where that thing is bolted, see what kind of bracketry I need to make in order to put in the upgraded new style system. If I would have already had one of those plastic units here like there are in the later Defenders, I would have been able to just do a direct swap with the Allisport one, but I don't. I have this old little, like, I forgot what they call them. It's like a lozenge, something like that, real small. So over here, you know, that was already put together. You saw that earlier in the video, put together there. I was able to replace the bracket here. Now I do have the Allisport version of this that has a little hose that come out, a little breather hose that comes out, but see how this one is a lot closer to the fender now, and it no longer imposes any threat to this bottom hose right here. So that new one from Allisport that I have not installed it. It's the black one. It does have an output at the top with a little hose that comes out, so I'm going to put a little reservoir bottle of some sorts here, kind of like the hot rods used to do with a glass bottle. I'm going to do something like that so that if it does shoot out some power steering fluid, it doesn't just leak out over everything like it would when it comes out of here. Sometimes I see all this area here filled with a little power steering fluid, yet it doesn't really seem to leak out that much. Other than that, everything's looking pretty good here. Everything is all lined up, no leaks, and that's what's going on so far. There's those hoses. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget, click like, feel free to comment. I answer any questions that I know the answers to, and sometimes people comment and give me great advice and great tips that I didn't know. But cool. Thanks for watching. Be well.